Hey y'all, welcome back to Mima's house, where we're eating good food, sharing good times, and we hope you enjoy your stay. Let's get to cooking. Hey y'all, welcome back to Mima's house. I'm in the kitchen, getting my apron on, because it's time to cook. I'm going to cook a little dinner for my family, and I'm going to bring you along. It is a chicken penne pasta dish. And it has a white sauce. I'm not even sure I know what to call it, but it has a white sauce and, got stuff on the stove. And I'm going to grill the chicken. We're going to kind of serve it in separate containers so that everybody can mix it the way they want to. If you know like I know, and you have a family like mine, you got one child who will eat the pasta with nothing but butter. You have another child who eat the pasta with the sauce, and another child who eat the pasta with the sauce and the meat, but none of the veggies. So I'm going to serve it discombobulated, if you will. So stay with me. We're going to get this chicken on the grill and get the pasta cooked, and I'll show you how I'm pulling it together. So let's get to cooking. Okay, so we're going to start this recipe by frying up some bacon. Now, Ariana does not eat bacon. She doesn't eat processed meat, she says. So, we're not going to put the bacon in the sauce. We're going to put the bacon on the side. I'm going to get this fried up so I can cut it up. But in the meanwhile, while that's frying, let's go ahead and season our chicken, because we're going to put our chicken on the grill. So I'm going to season it with a little bit of Kinder's Cowboy butter that has a little Dijon mustard in it, some onion powder, and some garlic salt. The Cowboy butter does have a little bit of salt in it, so you won't see me pull out the salt shaker. We're going to go ahead and season it with these seasonings first. But of course, before I can season my meat, I have to prepare the meat. I've washed my meat, cleaned it, and now I'm just cutting off those excess pieces of fat. This was some organic chicken that I had gotten from somewhere, maybe Sam's Club? I can't remember. But either way, I have washed it off. I've cut the fat off and that extra skin that hangs around. And I'm patting it dry so that I can put my seasoning on. So let's start with the onion powder and then we'll add the rest. And I'm seasoning this pretty liberally on both sides, just so that because these chicken breasts are pretty thick, and I want the seasonings to actually season the meat. Because this seasoning has the paprika and all of those things in it, the Kinders, and I think it has a little bit of sugar in it as well. You want to watch the heat. I'm going to blacken mine because that's what I want the taste to have. But it will not dry it out. It won't allow the meat to get dry. So I'm going to continue seasoning on both sides, and then we'll get these ready to go on the grill. Now, before we go on the grill, let's go ahead and get this bacon turned over, because I don't want to burn bacon while I'm out at the grill. So while this bacon continues to cook, I'll let my meat kind of tenderize in that seasoning and get the seasonings to go through the meat. Okay, I'm going to let this bacon drain on this paper towel, and in the meanwhile, I'm going to add a little oil to my chicken so that it won't stick to my grill outside, and it will allow all those flavorings to go through like they're supposed to. So I'm just going to press this in. I'm not adding a lot, but I'm going to make sure that I have enough so that it won't stick. Okay, let's go to the grill. Now I got my grill set to about 300, which is a kind of a medium-high heat, and it shouldn't take long for the meat to cook. So let's get this on the grill, and in the meanwhile, while this is starting, and I'm outside anyway, let me go ahead and cut some herbs to put into our sauce. I'm going to cut some basil. My basil is actually looking pretty good, even though this is the end of the season. This basil actually came out of the grocery store, which is surprising. You know how they sell the fresh herbs that's in the dirt, actually, in the grocery store, over in the fresh produce portion. That's where I got that from, and she was looking real sick. But she has come back to life, and she's doing pretty good. Now, this parsley, on the other hand, is saying something else. But we're going to use what is good on it because it still tastes good. And as you can see, I'm going to take this all into the house. I'm going to punch this down now so that we can get us some French loaves going. And I can make some garlic bread with this to add to this meal. We like bread, fresh bread, quite frequently around here, but I don't put it on camera very often. It is time consuming, but you've seen me make bread before. And this is just my traditional, regular old bread recipe with 6 cups of flour, 2.5 cups of warm water with 2 packets of yeast, a sprinkling of salt, an egg. I did make this a nice yeasted dough, and I added the egg to this one so that it could crisp up nicely in the oven. So I've got my bread dough ready, and I'm going to cut this into 2 pieces. I think they're equal parts so that I can make 2 loaves. And I will show you how I make my loaves differently, because we do different things with the bread. And I'm not going to serve but 1 loaf tonight, but I will serve the other loaf with some French toast later on in the week, or with some toast in the morning for the children. So, or Peepaw, because you know he likes a good fresh bread, okay? Because where else y'all think I've been cooking? Who else do you think I've been cooking this for all these years? Him. So let's go ahead and roll out our dough. Now this first loaf I'm going to make, and I'm going to spread it out into a rectangle, fold it over, and get it ready to go onto the pan. Actually, working with bread dough I find to be therapeutic, because I can kind of work with my hands and get the dough to do what I want it to do. This is a great dough to work with. And if you're interested in the recipe, I can certainly put that in the description box. Let me know, and I will put it in an answer. If you put it out there, I'll answer you and put it in the answer. So let's go ahead. I got my rectangle. It's not a pretty rectangle, but it's a rectangle nonetheless. Let's get this rectangle rolled together, folded over, and worked so that I can have this loaf done. I don't know what I needed. What I felt like I needed. I'm going to spray some Pam on my cookie sheet so that I can make sure that this bread does not stick. And we'll get this placed onto the cookie sheet and work on the next roll or loaf.
Yes.
You can see the pan.
Piece of it's covered.
Now you can certainly make these loaves within a loaf pan, but it will change the shape of it.
It's good. It's spot on now.
Either way, it's good bread.
Let me know if it's right centered.
Now just rolling out my dough like this is my preferred method because I don't handle it as much. I like to roll my dough out this way to make the loaf, but either way is fine. The other way makes a flatter loaf. So I'm going to spray this pan and we're going to get this loaf in. Now I'm going to score both loaves so that the air can escape out of those scored pieces and portions, and then I will cover them and let them rise for another hour. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, the chicken is done. So let's go on out here and get our chicken off the grill. And it did get nice and brown on the one side because I only cooked it on the one side. I covered the grill and it cooked the whole chicken, but it cooked well on that one side. So we're back in the kitchen and we're going to go ahead and start our sauce. And the sauce is going to start with a little bit of the grease from the bacon. Yes, I'm using the bacon grease. Added about the same amount of flour because I'm going to cook this flour just for a few minutes. But in the meanwhile, I am on the side, and you can hardly see me, but I'm cutting up my little bit of parsley and basil that I got out of the garden. So let's go ahead and brown our flour. I'm not really going to brown it. I'm just cooking it. And then I'll add my other ingredients. And you know, you only have to cook flour about a minute to get the flour taste out. So that's the only reason that I'm cooking it. The purpose is not to brown it like I do gravy. This is just to cook the flour because the flour is simply serving to be a thickener for my sauce. So this is almost like a roux. A roux gets really dark, but this is not what this is. Did I just contradict myself? Either way, y'all know what I'm talking about, I think. If you don't, ask me in the comments and I'll try to clear it up for you. Now I'm going to go ahead and add some garlic, some chopped garlic that I have in a jar in my refrigerator. Because you know when I get that big bag of garlic from Costco or Sam's Club, I go ahead and process it when I get home, and or maybe a day or two later, and chop it up real fine in my food processor. Put some in a jar, fill up a jar with some olive oil and the garlic, and then the other part of the garlic I put into ice cube trays with nothing in it but just garlic, so when I want just garlic, I can do that. So I've added the garlic, and now I've added some whipping cream. I'm going to let that simmer for a minute or so that I can get or a few seconds so that I can get my Dijon mustard ready to go in. Because the Dijon mustard adds a little bit of a kick, not a big kick. Because we like spice around here, so I'm going to put in a tablespoon and a half of Dijon mustard. And you can add more or less for your taste. However you like it to taste, you can certainly add more or less. Now I'm going to go in with about a cup of Parmesan cheese. And we'll get this all mixed in. And you notice I'm not putting any salt because the Parmesan cheese is well salted, and the Dijon mustard adds a little salt as well. So let's stir this up, and this will become nice and thick as it cooks down. Now, because I'm so prone to doing this sauce, and I always add the veggies, I went ahead and added the veggies, which are chopped onions, the basil, the parsley, and I've added also some extra sun-dried tomatoes that I had on hand. It's about a quarter of a cup. So it's not a whole lot, but this was enough veggies that Noah is able to manage. He doesn't like a whole lot of stuff, but we like the flavor and we like the taste. So I'm going to kind of move these veggies out of the way when I serve his dish, but he will eat most of what I'm putting in here. But as long as it's got a sauce on it, I think he's okay. So now that I've added the spinach, I'm going to let that cook down, and our sauce is ready. I'm going to taste it to make sure it has enough seasoning in it. But for the most part, the sauce is done. Okay. Hey, can you come try this? Okay, it has not been quite an hour, but the bread has risen, and we're going to put them in the oven. I'm baking these at 425 degrees Fahrenheit. Put some water in on the bottom of the bottom of the stove to get a nice crust, so that I can make sure that my bread is crusty on the outside and soft on the inside. Well, the bread smells fabulous, and I'm going to go ahead and put some butter on it, some softened butter. I'm going to brush on the top so that when I go to cut it, it will be nice and buttery. So let's get this done. There are a lot of components to this particular meal, but it is easy to pull together. So I don't mind fixing meals like this once or twice a week for my family, because it is of something that I don't have to give a whole lot of thought to, because I was able to pull the bread together earlier in the day on one of my breaks, just come on upstairs and do a little bit of bread making and putting that aside. At the end of my day, my last 15-minute break, I was able to do that. So I can make sure that I still have a good meal on the table for my family in the evening if it's a work day. So at the end of that work day, I can come in and do the rest of the meal prep. And it doesn't take forever. Now, I did forget to get the mint that this particular recipe for the salad calls for. This is a cucumber and strawberry salad that actually calls for mint. So I have solicited people to go out and get me some mint. You see, he's very nice and gentle with the mint. Unlike me, I just kind of snatch stuff around and trim it. But he's being nice and he's cutting it for me. So let's go ahead and get our salad pulled together. I don't think I've ever made a video with all the components of my meal where I fixed most of it on camera. But today is a special day. Not because it's any more special than any other day. It's just a good day, and I thought I would show you the meal that I'm preparing. So having said all that, let's go ahead and cut these strawberries up. I've already washed my spinach, and I had done that before with the chicken with the sauce. So I have the spinach already in the bowl, and I have my strawberries. I'm getting those cut up. And then we'll cut our cucumber. And I'm only making the small version. I think the original version of the recipe called for the cucumber, for 4 cucumbers or something. I guess it was for a big family. We don't need that much of a salad for our meal. So let's get this done. Now that the salad is done, let's go ahead and make our dressing. This is the only thing I'm pulling my salt shaker out for today. And that's because I don't want just flat dressing. I need it to have a little flavor. Now, I keep some pickled red onion in my refrigerator because we like it. So I'm going to use the juice of the pickled red onions, just a little bit of the juice of the pickled red onions in the salad dressing. But in the salad, I'm going to use some of those pickled red onions. Now, that was a second thought because that's not on the recipe that I was using for this salad. You know, with salads, you just kind of throw together what you like. And because we like the pickled red onions, I added them. And now I'm going to add some balsamic vinegar, and we're going to get some olive oil put in, a little bit of Dijon mustard, some salt, and our dressing will be done. Very simple. Okay, the salad is done and the dressing. Let's go ahead and move this out of the way and we can clean our countertop off because now it's time to go ahead and cut our bread. I have my oven set on broil so that I can just put a little butter on them, a little garlic salt, and broil them real nice. So we like them toasty brown. The bread is crunchy on the outside and nice and soft on the inside. So let's get it back in the oven. Now for the finishing touches, I'm going to go ahead and cut the chicken into cubes or bite-sized pieces. You can leave them into the strips if you'd like, but everything is now done. Hey y'all, so we have our dinner ready, and you see I pulled my chicken apart and I've cut it. I've made a salad. This is a strawberry cucumber salad. We have our bread. I sliced that up and put some garlic salt on it with a little butter. You know, everything's better with butter. Got my pasta. And then let's move over this way. And this is our pasta sauce. So this is our chicken with penne pasta and white sauce. I still don't know what I'm calling it, but it is going to be delicious. This sauce is absolutely delicious. So I'm going to pull together a plate and I will show it to you. So here's the finished meal. This is my plate. I tried to pile a little bit more salad on me so that I won't eat all that pasta. Y'all know how I do. But it was absolutely delicious. And we've been able to eat on that bread for a couple of days. Okay, y'all, so there's dinner. A chicken with pasta, penne pasta, and a white sauce. Let's call that chicken pasta with a white sauce. And a cucumber and strawberry salad. Of course, it had spinach in it. I'm trying to give the people all the things. And you see, I'm still harvesting from the garden. If you want to call it a garden, that piece is my herb garden. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. Y'all be blessed. Bye. Thank y'all so much for watching today's video, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoyed the recipes that I shared. Also, I want to let you know that I do have an Instagram page now that I've started, and it's called At Mima's House. Go check it out if you want to know what's happening with us during the week.